nothing but a vulture. Always hoping for the worst, waiting for me to fuck up. You'll regret the day when I find another girl, yeah. They know just what I need, she know just what I mean. When I tell her keep it drama free.
Chunking up the
yeah. Told you that I'm leaving. Whoa. I know you mad, but so what? I wish you best of luck. Now I'm finna throw them deuces up. I'm on some new shit, I'm chucking my deuces up to her. I'm moving on to something better. No more trying to make it work. You make me wanna say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye to her. You make me wanna say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye to her.
Used to be Valentine's, together all the time. Thought it was true love, but you know women lie. It's like I sent my love with a text 2 times. Called cause I care, but I ain't getting no reply. Trying to see eye to eye, but it's like we both blind. Fuck it, let's hit the club. I rarely sit, but pour me some. Cause when it's all said and done, I ain't gonna be the one that she can always run to. I hate liars, fuck love, I'm tired of trying. My heart big, but it be quiet. I don't never feel like we vibing, cause every time we alone, it's an awkward silence. So leave your keys on the kitchen counter and give me back that ruby ring with the big diamond. Shit is over, what you tripping for? I don't wanna have to let you go, but baby, I think it's better if I let you know.
I'm on some new shit, I'm chucking my deuces up to her. I'm moving on to something better. No more trying to make it work. You make me wanna say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Say bye-bye to her. You make me wanna say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye to her.
Look, my shorty always on some bullshit like Chicago, so I flip that middle finger and the index finger follow. Deuces, we ain't got no future in tomorrow. I'm a dick, so it shouldn't be that hard to swallow. The other chick I'm with never complaining. She make me wanna leave the one I'm with, Usher Raymond.
What up, Dury? Greg.
Later on, it will.
What up?
Shorty full of drama like gangster. Grizzles, I finally noticed it. It finally hit me. Like Tina did Ike in a limo, it finally hit me. I got a new chick, and she ain't you. She Paula Patton thick. She give me deja vu. And all that attitude, I don't care about it. But all that shit I do for her, you gon' hear about it. Breezy rap 2 up, 2 down, but I'm just putting 2 up, chucking up the deuce now.
What up, fellas? What up? What is going on, Dury? What up, Greg, man? Go ahead and get ready to get started in a hot second, man. I know it's the summer. I know Subs is down. We ran off everybody with the black stuff. That's been beautiful. I love it. So happy. Yep, starting on time. It's just me. 9. Yeah, what's up, fellas? What's up? All right, so listen. Might be a little light today. The black women's is tired. They's tired. But I'm talking about them anyway. So I get it. I do want to say I understand. I do understand black women. They're triggered, traumatized, being the least protected, least respected. I get it. I've heard it. I understand it. You're sitting at the intersection of intersectionality, double minority, all that good stuff. And feeling like every time you see something about black women, it's negative. I totally understand. And I'm not even here to beat up on y'all. Promise. I'm just trying to clarify some things to bring a sober mind to today's topic. Absolutely. So I understand why you can't or won't. I know some of the people, the regulars, will not be here today. They just can't hear something. They can't hear black women come out of one more person's mouth because they're sensitive. Totally understand. But I understand because when y'all chose the bear, I felt the way. So I get it. I get it. Relationship discussions to me, though, are endlessly fascinating. Every time something like this pops up, I love it. We have an unlimited capacity to say something clever, man. But sometimes we also have an unlimited capacity to say some of the most complete nonsense I've ever heard in my life, including a question I heard on somebody else's channel the other day. I won't repeat it, but it was one of the dumbest things I'd ever heard. And they said it like it was one of the smartest things. And I'm just like, oof, oof. But I've learned. I've learned a lot about myself. I've had my thoughts challenged. I've had my thoughts changed. For instance, we thoughtlessly say that comparison is a thief of joy. But is it though? I gotta ask y'all. Yeah, relationships, they got me too. We don't talk enough. We don't talk enough. I'm only on the internet to cause problems. I know. But I don't believe comparison is a thief of joy. Like if you see somebody on the corner holding no signs in the rain or the heat, you're like, man, whoo, glad I'm not out there. It didn't steal your joy, but you compared yourself to them. If you're in a relationship and you see another couple going through it, or they're sitting at the dinner table across from you, and y'all like see them on their phones the entire dinner, and you're like, man, I'm so glad we can have conversations. Look at them. Didn't steal your joy. You're actually grateful for the relationship that you had. I know sometimes you could even see somebody doing a really hard job, nasty job, trash, sanitation, oh God, and that smell, oh God. And you're like, I'm thankful I don't do that. For at least 3 minutes, you're thankful. So comparison can even breed gratitude. You can also compare and compete. You can see somebody doing something and be like, I can do what they do. I can do that easy. I just need to work harder, or I need to get a skill. Maybe I need to go to school or take a class. Comparison can also inspire. So I wonder what it is. What is it that steals people's joy? What is it stealing their joy? Because it's not people making this up. When they say that, they're not making it up. Something's stealing their joy, but it's not the comparison. The comparison that's getting them. I say it's your niggling insecurities, envy, contempt, bitterness. That's what's getting to you. It's not, yeah. Those garbage men lose their sense of smell. Ooh, God. Yeah. That's only true if your outcome from said comparison isn't favorable to you. Absolutely. So it's not the comparison that's a thief of joy. It's your insecurity about your current state in comparison to that other one. So it's not the comparison, because you could have came out favorable. But yeah, it's not that. It's that bit of darkness that's eating you from the inside out, that you're not where you want to be. Your dissatisfaction with yourself. That's an insecurity. And that's what we're here today to talk about. Because we have stumbled upon a group insecurity that stole people's joy. So, getting into this, bear with me. I'm going to be moving slow, and I'm going to need an audio video test with y'all, because my internet, there was a storm that came through. Internet was a little wonky, but who, what, why are we talking about? Yeah, let's get into it. See, if I was a millionaire, comparison would become my validation. Absolutely. So part one, the who, the what, and the why. So the lady on the thumbnail center mass is, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce that properly, but I'm going to say Suereyya Brooks. That's how a black person would have been said that. But it could be Suereyya. I don't know. But she's supposed to be German. No idea. And that is from her About page on her YouTube. Uplifting women, trying to teach how to be more feminine, sharing my experience and give advice. Money has nothing to do with being feminine. And uplifting men. You don't need to earn a woman's respect. Know your worth and travel the world if women in your environment don't appreciate you. Go where you're celebrated, not tolerated. She's been married for 15 years to an American passport, bro. Oh, a bit of darkness eating you from the inside out. That's funny. I like that. It's a pickup line. Suereyya Brooks. That's how you say that? Oh, my God. I hope that's not it. But, I gotta remember. Hold up, y'all. Hold up. I gotta get these. Bam. Suereyya Where would you put the emphasis? I want to put the emphasis on the right syllable. So Suereyya. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. So that's where we at. That's the young lady who's in the clip that we are going to play momentarily. Give me a second. And I know none of the black women showed up today. I know they couldn't take one more. I get it. And I know they're probably somewhere right now playing Alexa. Like, Alexa, play Kendrick Lamar, Not Like Us. I know they pissed. I get it. But Mrs. Brooks was featured in a clip by someone else, which I will show in a moment. She seems to be in the manosphere, red pill, passport bro sector. And she addresses Western relationships and the problems with them. When I look through her content, I noticed like most of the people from that sector, like Just Pearly Things, she features clips and reactions to a lot of black men and black women talking about relationships. So that was the first interesting thing I noticed. She says she's been married 15 years to an average black man who describes him as a passport bro. And that's who she's going to be referencing in the clip that we are about to watch. So I know a lot of people immediately wanted to discredit her discredit the messenger. You know, she's white, she's German. What's she know about black women? There are a few, and I'm waiting for somebody to call her because she's from Germany. I'm waiting for like the Germammy. I'm waiting for that. But I do want y'all to see the message. Woo! What up, Yellow? How you feeling, my boy? How does marrying a German woman make someone a passport bro? Germans are rich. Because it takes a passport to get to Germany. I don't think the part of the passport was that they had to be from a downtrodden third world country. I think it was just you needed to go somewhere else. You had to be able to use your passport to get there. I think it's typical that people go there because economics is a primary driver. But the biggest thing is that they want submissive and traditional valued women. And that can be from anywhere. But I'm going to play the original clip, fellas, and y'all can tell me. I may not know what a passport bro is, and that's all right. You don't need to. You stay right there in Indiana, and you get your local bros and your local bros, your local women and your local goats, and you will be cool. But here's the OG vid. It's about 2 minutes.
I already knew I had him because there was simply no competition out there for me. But let's just look at it objectively. You had this average Black American guy who now was able to choose between what he was dealing with before and somebody completely new. And let me tell you, the moment I stepped into that man's life, he really didn't know how to deal with my femininity because I was not loud. I was not screaming. I was not trying to, be louder than him. I didn't interrupt him because that's not something that I learned from home. If somebody would speak, and especially a man, you would let that man speak and then you would listen and then say whatever you have to say, right? So I was clean. I cooked. He didn't know what it was when a woman is actually in the room asking him, like, do you want something to drink? Before I got myself something to drink. Do you want something to eat? Before I started to eat my food, I would ask him, do you want to have a bite? I would come out of nowhere and just have a fruit bowl and just offer him some fruit. He didn't know none of this. So my husband, back then boyfriend, really thought this was a dream come true. He didn't know how to deal with none of this because all this me coming through, just being nurturing by nature, his peoples and his family didn't even do that for him. Like the family, there is no family unit. The average family, especially Black American family, has barely a family unit. There is no breakfast, lunch, and dinner at set times. And these are things that I introduced my husband to with my family. Can you imagine that impact that I had on him back then? So gentlemen, do not be afraid of traveling. There are so many more women out there who are willing to take care of you. It doesn't matter if they're young. It doesn't matter if they're older. They are willing to take care of you, willing to work with you, willing to be a part of your life. You don't have to deal with whatever you are dealing with back in your hometown because unfortunately, a lot of American women are lost in the delusional world that they are living in, and they don't even understand that they are going to be lonely for a long time, if not for the rest of their life. They say by choice, but I don't believe them.
Yeah. Now listen, I know she did mention her Black American husband. She mentioned Black families, but she talked about women in general. Now, again, perusing through her content, almost everything is labeled modern women, Western values, all that kind of stuff. So she's on that Kevin Samuels type kick. So she, as Naya will call her, a struggle Kevin. So she's one of those, a pearly, and you know, it is what it is. But yeah, Guten Tag. I do love that. But that's the original clip that got people bothered. It's important to note that those captions at the top that mention black women in competition did not come from her. She did not add those. Those are from somebody else that took the clip and added some spice to it. So she addressed that on her channel. She has made 2 videos speaking about the backlash, which you can find by going to her channel, which is in the description. And I know some people are just going to have a problem with a white woman talking about black women, saying what she said and what we also all know to be true. So what I did was grabbed a couple of black women, because she can't talk about black. She don't know our experience, blah, blah, blah,
That
blah.
German lady got on this here internet and said that she found an average black man that she introduced femininity and care and nurture to, because he had never seen it. And he picked her over what he was used to dealing with. And then she went on to say this.
Black American family has barely a family unit. You know, there is no breakfast, lunch, and dinner at set times. And these are things that I introduced my husband to.
And after she said that, she goes on to say that black women need to just accept that they're going to end up being by themselves, because black men are tired of dealing with the loud mouth, the attitude, no care, no love, no nurturing, no family unit. And after listening to everything, baby, she right. She didn't tell not a lie. A lot of us were not raised in households where we seen wives be able to be wives because they had husbands that were being husbands. A lot of us grew up in environments where there were no black male role models. There were no fathers, grandfathers, uncles. So we don't know what the leadership of a man looks like. A lot of us grew up in environments where our mothers were literally operating in survival mode. So they weren't worried about teaching us how to cook and clean and be feminine. They were worried about making sure that the bills got paid and everybody was alive at the end of the day. But just because that's how we were raised, that does not mean that that's how we need to continue to exist. If you know that that behavior and that life didn't give your mother or your grandmother the results that they wanted, and it hasn't been giving you the results that you want, it's time for a change.
That German woman did not lie when she was talking about us black women. She didn't lie at all. I seen a lot of people, they was mad. Like, they was mad at her. And it's like, why are you mad? If you're mad, that means there's some things you need to correct in yourself. Hey, I even took one little thing that she said. I was like, I do need to eat that up right there, because I don't be doing that. But everything else, I be doing for my man, period. 10 toes down, I do those things. But a lot of black women do not value men. A lot of women, period, in America don't value men. And that's the problem. We don't value men, and we can't keep making the excuse of, oh, my upbringing, I was brought up like this or like that, and that's why X, Y, and Z. You know, because the German lady in the video, she said she was brought up with those morals of valuing men, so she did just that. But hey, I didn't grow up like her, okay? I grew up like pretty much every normal black woman in America. That's how I grew up. But I did not learn. I took the good from my parents and from my mom, and then I threw away the bad. And I was like, okay, obviously there's some changes that I need to do for myself. And that's what a lot of us need to do. A lot of us don't be wanting to do that.
Yeah, and I'm like them. I didn't grow up with a father in the house. Almost everybody I know didn't grow up with a father in the house. 70 to 80% of black Americans especially don't grow up with a father in the house. So where are we supposed to see these examples? Where are we supposed to see these examples? So what the lady said in the video when she talked about black families, it's not off. It's not wrong. Statistically, it's true. If you've got a single mother carrying most of the financial weight, she's probably working a lot, like my mom wasn't around to keep me from getting in trouble. Like a lot of these young people are right now, I guarantee you somebody's probably out here in this parking lot at my apartment building, still in a kid. Guarantee it. Somebody from 12 to 16 right now, unattended, no oversight. So it's a thing. We need to be real about that. Let me keep up with that. She didn't say docile. I mean, people are going to paraphrase. They ain't going to remember what she said. Maybe it's just me, but docile women are boring. I like a channel boy. Yeah. Greg needs a Dom black queen. He needs something. It's interesting to me that it's only docile or cantankerous in people's mind. And that's the juxtaposition most people put. Like, you got to be the submissive, bowing, graceful woman, or you're like, hey, it's one or the other. And it's not that serious, but you know, people make it that serious. And Nate is in the building. Hello. Good to see you. He don't want to sub. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But I wanted to put black women saying that they understand what she's going through, because honestly, the message was on point. A lot of us have not seen care and tenderness and I guess acts of service. A lot of us have not seen that. There's physical affection. Like if we're going to talk about the love languages, which are terms of affection, a lot of us, we might see gifts. We see some acts of service, words of affirmation, lip service. We get that all the time. But as far as like a lot of stuff, we don't see it as much. We just don't. So it's true. Like a quality time as far as what the man wants to do, we don't see that a lot. Acts of service as far as what the man wants, we don't see that a lot. We make fun of it culturally about what the dads get as far as gifts, what the dads get as far as what the woman expects. Right? We make fun of that stuff. We know it to be true. And everything she said is absolutely 100% undeniably true, but people just don't like the fact that she said it. And I get it. People feel picked upon, but that's an insecurity that we have to get over, because I'm actually involved in a beef with my nephew right now because he feels put upon because I, expressed a complaint. I complained. I criticized some of the behavior that I was perceiving. So I actually wanted to take a moment to look at this, because when women are saying that they're being attacked, black women feel attacked. I understand. So I wanted to look at it because this is where literacy and emotional intelligence comes in. And just a few years ago, the reading level among adults in the United States was at around the 5th grade level. Black America, it was lower. So literacy is a primary problem in a lot of these conversations in our communication. And emotional intelligence is the next biggest thing. So we're going to look at that. Black women feel attacked. Let's look what attack means. An attack is to set upon or work against forcefully, to assail with unfriendly or bitter words, to begin to affect or to act on injuriously. So it looks like there's a lot of intent to harm here, but the intent, because you're forceful, bitter, injurious, there's a lot of connotation there in the words for an attack. What I think, though, what black women are feeling as an attack, they're feeling it as an attack. From black men, what they're hearing is a complaint. Men expressing their grief, their pain, their discontent. They're leveling accusations or charges about black women. But black women hear that complaint and perceive it as an attack, so they get defensive. And when they hear the German woman, it's not a complaint that she's making, because she has a black man. She doesn't have a black woman. She's doing is criticizing, to consider the merits and demerits of and judge accordingly, to evaluate, to find fault with, point out the faults of. She's criticizing. She's a cultural critic. But black women feel attacked. This is an internal problem. This is an insecurity. It's the feeling that keeps you from seeing things as they are. When you're hearing men complain or people criticize, you perceive it as an attack because you're insecure. And that's human. You don't have to get defensive about that. You're human. We do that. Again, like I said, I'm dealing with that with a young man, my nephew. Love him to death. But it happens. It's part of life. I do want to look at, though, the reaction to it today, because the reaction told me quite a bit. Reacting to a reaction is a new thing. I know. It's a little weird, but we're going to do it. But the way people react to something that pops up, it just shows you a whole lot about who they are and what they believe. So this is where I need the audio video test. I need y'all to let me know if this plays or if it's choppy. So as soon as this video comes up, let me know if it's choppy, blocky, if it looks like Minecraft, Roblox, or if it's playing fluidly.
Y'all just got to see the comments. Okay. This one black woman, she said, "Keep up the good work, girl. We love this for you. Please be sure to keep him at all costs. Congrats to you both." Another black woman said, "Bless your heart, sugar. We definitely appreciate your service, honey."
All right, let me pause, see what y'all saying. Nope, he's not telling me about the video. He's making another comment. I think women mistakenly believe there's a limited pool of good men out there they have to compete for. I mean, well, there is a limited pool of good men out there that they have to compete for. That's not a mistake. There's a limited pool of people, period. There's a finite number of people. And then the quality of people of course, it's going to be less than the full pool of people. That's not a mistake. That is not a mistake. Because then you also have to have the measure in like who you're attracted to and then who's attracted to you. No, men are not all the same. Yep, I'm tuning you out right now.
You're a winner. Congratulations on your accomplishment. And then this one girl, she said, girl, congratulations on raising your man.
Now, raising your man. So because she's doing something, she's raising her man. They're putting her in the mother position. So that's the connotation that black women are gleaning from what she said. These are the comments being left on her video. Congratulations. You keep him. You're raising him. So let's keep going.
Mm-hmm. Somebody said, you is smart. You is important. You is kind. Keep impacting. Another black woman said, baby, you are a lifesaver.
A lifesaver. How's she saving a life? I guess maybe the black man's life. I don't know.
Then this other woman said, wow, I'm definitely taking notes. I've never thought to ask my man if he wanted a drink or offer him fruit. Congrats on the union.
Being sarcastic, but she probably hadn't.
Then this other black woman said, you're clearly one of a kind.
She is.
When I say I'm proud.
And she and the person talking is about to prove it. That she is kind of one of a kind.
Proud of black women. That's why I'm talking about this. I'm not talking about this because of what this woman said. Girl, I don't give a damn about what she's talking about. I don't give a damn. All she's doing is projecting the man that she married, right? She's projecting his trauma on all black women, and she's coming online expressing it.
Now, what her claim is, now she's complaining. She's projecting her trauma on all black women. That's not her trauma. What she's saying is that I saw that the man that I chose, he had trauma, neglect specifically. He had been neglected for care and love. He had been neglected. So when I showed him care, when I showed him appreciation, when I showed him interest, he didn't recognize it because he hadn't received it. That's not her trauma. She's saying she grew up in a culture that valued men and women. They valued each other. So this is her projecting trauma. She doesn't even recognize what trauma is or where it lies because she clearly is not the one with the issue. She's expressing love and gratitude and appreciation and care. Whether it's right or wrong, that's on her. But that's not trauma. There's no way to gather trauma from that. Now the guy saying that I've never experienced this. Nobody in my family did this. I've never dated anybody who did this. That kind of neglect, that could be seen as compound trauma. But Yanie's not attributing it to him. He's putting it on Mrs. Brooks, which is kind of weird. That is probably a projection. But again, let's let it play out a little bit.
And that tells me everything that I need to know about her marriage. Everything she does for this man is a trauma response.
How is it a trauma response if she's not the one that's traumatized? Now, if she's responding to his trauma, now she led with doing these things for him to prove herself to him. She wouldn't have known that he had that trauma until he was doing that and said, hey, nobody's ever done this for me. So how she's doing this prematurely as a trauma response, the response is after the fact, which is so weird that she can't even pick up on that. The response is after. She did this before, so it's not a response. But this is where, again, literacy and emotional intelligence comes into play because people don't know what words mean, even when they use them.
I don't want to be in a relationship like that. So I'm definitely happy for her. And no, there is no competition. None at all.
There is no competition because, like she said, she doesn't want to be in a relationship where she does things for the guy.
Everything that she talks about is a trauma response to what this man did or what he went through prior to meeting him.
How could she have a trauma response from what he went through prior to him being met by her? How could she have a trauma response from something that he experienced before she met him? These are the gymnastics that people will go through to excuse their paltry, juvenile, bastard-like behavior.
And she has to overcompensate for that. That is not something that I want to do in a relationship. I would like a man that comes fully worked on, meaning
She wants a man that's been fully worked on, like the Bionic Man, where he's been rebuilt from the ground up. She wants him to be fully restored to brand new, like to pristine condition, because that's how people come. They get fully restored, and you get a certificate of authenticity.
Those may have been his earlier experiences, but he has worked on himself to move past those things to where I don't have to overextend to ensure that he is at peace, that he is content within our relationship. I would like.
Now, again, what she got from that. Now, what she took from that, because the lady said she did that before knowing that the guy had been neglected. So she's saying, I don't want to do these things to make somebody else feel good, that's her right. That's her right. But she's misinterpreting because she couldn't listen past her feelings. The lady said, I was doing this from the start. I'm trying to prove myself to this guy. She had no idea he had been neglected. She had no idea that he had felt any. We don't even know that he felt traumatized. Did he experience some sort of trauma from being neglected emotionally? Maybe. But that wasn't what was said. She just said that he didn't recognize it to being loved in that capacity until she did it. That was his normal. He had a different baseline. So because that was normalized for him, he probably wouldn't have experienced trauma because he didn't expect anything different. So right now, Yanie's doing a lot of projection and telling on herself, saying she doesn't want to do something that the lady didn't even do. She wasn't trying to fill some hole in the guy. That's not what she was trying to do. She was trying to prove herself. So she wanted to woo this guy. Totally different intention. Totally different behavior.
For him to have that contentment on his own. I would like for him to have that peace on his own. I don't want to have to give him those things because that takes away from me.
She doesn't want to have to give him things because it takes away from her. So any relationship with her is going to be one-sided. You give, which takes away from you, and she takes, which takes away from you. And that should be good for you. You should be happy enough to be with her. You should be satisfied. She's not going to give to you because that takes away from her. You don't want to take away from her, do you? You should be the only one that gets taken away from. You get a minus, she gets a plus. That's how we balance out a relationship. Like a battery, like a car battery. And your car runs, doesn't it? It's got a plus and it's got a minus. That's how it works. All relationships run like that.
So I'm not mad at this woman. She thinks she's won a prize, and I feel like she has, because it's not something that I want to do. Now, I do have a question. What's wrong with the German men? Why is she not with the German men?
Why is she not with the German men? That's a perfectly valid question. Why is she not with the German men? Maybe she doesn't want German men. Maybe she likes black guys. Maybe German men didn't like the way her nose looked. Maybe we have no idea. Why even ask that question? Because if we turn that question on black women, it would be all kinds of problems. We could just accept that two people found each other and they enjoyed each other's company. They love each other. They chose to marry. They've been together 15 years. 15 years. Average marriage, I think, lasts 5 to 10. They've been together 15 years. 15.
Why don't they want her? I don't understand that. Why don't the German men want her? But listen, I'm not even mad about that.
That's a great question, Yella. That's a great question. If you ask her, she'll tell you that she's been engaged to multiple times, like everybody else. They've all been engaged to 15 times. They turn all the men down. So maybe it's not that no man wants them. Maybe they just don't want any men. That knows comment. I'm just saying. Maybe, I don't know. We can't ask all the German men why they didn't choose her or why she didn't pursue them. Because the lady didn't say, hey, I chased down a bunch of German men and they all told me no. We don't have that information. So Yanie is reaching for anything. We were talking about was that Interview with the Vampire when Louis got dropped from the sky. I can't remember the line, but Lestat enjoyed like Louis grasping for air. Yanie is grasping for anything to invalidate this woman. There's no reason for that.
Because listen, ladies, y'all need to be out here checking out these German men and seeing what they about.
Why not?
Okay. Because she's sitting up here talking about black men are this and that. I'm like, well, what's wrong with German men?
May not be anything wrong with them. Maybe she just likes the look of us. Do you like the look of us? Do you like us? Because she likes us. Do you like us? She's scratching and scraping. What's up, Midnight Snack? Excellent stream yesterday. I enjoyed the space that you created. Can't wait to see where it goes. Shout out to you.
With them. Then this other black woman, she said, I've never seen a woman do the things you do. You are perfect. Keep it up, girl. I've never asked my man, did he want something to drink?
No, I'm not going to lie. Okay, fellas, black, white, or other. How many times does your woman ask you, the women that you dated, ask you if you wanted something to drink when she got up? I'm not even going to lie. I don't even do that all the time. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. You can do it sometime, but not everybody's super attentive like that. Not everybody's super service oriented. She is, and that's okay. It's not a demerit. It's so weird. So your answer is to revenge date her men instead of loving yours. Of course. That makes more sense. That's how much she doesn't care. We should check out German men to see what they're about. That's how much she really doesn't care what this woman has to say. But at one point, are black women going to self-reflect and take some accountability, cause and reaction? That's a great question, and many of them do. So let me give credit to the ones that do. There are a great many women realizing that they just do not enjoy black men. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. There are a great many black women that realize they just don't even enjoy men, period. Perfectly okay. Nothing wrong with that. So I want to give credit to the ones that are doing the work, as opposed to these women here who pretend like they're on a self-love journey to better themselves so that when they do find a relationship, they'll be healthy and whole in it. Because they're carrying these negative attitudes, they're not actually healing. They're not healing like they think they are. And it comes out when they talk.
Mm-hmm. Then somebody also said, keep us updated, girlfriend.
Because again, this lady made a comment about what she recognized, when she criticized, what she saw, what she analyzed and saw in the community, in the world. Because it wasn't just about black women. She talked about women, period, in the West. Western people. That's black, white, other. She said, but especially in the black community, their families are more broken than the others. That's true. That's statistically true. Why can't we stop and admit that and move on? And instead, they're being passive aggressive in the comments. These are comments that they intentionally left. Congratulations, you're a lifesaver, all this other stuff. All of this is unnecessary. If you really don't care, why are these comments? And she's celebrating the comments. She says she doesn't even care what the woman said. She's highlighting and celebrating the comments made by black women that are passive aggressive. Does that sound healed to you? Does that sound like self-love? That's weird.
Then Nikki said, ma'am, good for you. I love and treat my husband very well, and he does the same for me. And we're both black, and we have been married for 22 years. Okay? So that's why I'm actually responding to this. I just loved how black women are handling this. It really shows your growth.
It's showing your growth to get in a post that you don't agree with and be passive aggressive. That shows your growth. Where is the bar if getting online and being passive aggressive and snarky is growth? Where were you before? Where are you now? Because being passive aggressive is immature. Where were you before? Where did you grow to? Because fifth graders can do this. Where were you before, black women?
Getting triggered and reacting, and I really like that. You're not giving her what she's looking for.
You're not giving her what she's looking for. I would gather that she's actually talking to black men and not black women based on her platform. She's not even talking to y'all. She's talking about y'all. She's talking through y'all. But your growth didn't even help you to see that.
For your validation, and you did not give it to her. And I love that. Like, that's what I love. And do you feel the power?
She wanted your validation and y'all didn't give it to her. You're in her comments. You're reacting to her. You're reacting to the comments left to her. What do you mean she didn't get the validation? What are you talking about? Oh,
that you have when you don't give people the reaction that they want, it feels good, doesn't it? It feels really good. So I just like how through this whole thing, I'm seeing collectively Black women's growth. And that's why I really wanted to talk about it. I didn't want to talk about it because of what she said. Girl, I don't give a damn what she talked about. But let's just continue. Let's just finish up what she said.
You know,
Right.
like the family, there is no family unit. The average family, especially Black American family, has barely a family unit.
Now, again, the average family, especially the Black American family. So that's the average American family, and especially the Black American family has no family unit. That's just a fact. I could point you to the Moynihan report that was saying that 1960, 1970, it was bad then. It's tripled now for whites and Blacks. It's terrible. The things that they were afraid of in the Black community then, it's inverted. They were worried about the 30% fatherlessness rate in the Black community back then in the 60s and 70s. It's now at 70%. So instead of 30% with 70% intact, we're 70% out of unintact with 30% intact. That's terrible. White people follow behind us. We're the vanguard. We go out in front. We mess up first. And for whatever reason, they don't stop. They follow behind us and do the exact same thing. No idea why. There's no point in having a canary in the coal mine if you're just going to keep going down there and everybody chokes out. It's goofy. It's silly. You got the advance alarm and you keep marching right to the. I don't understand it.
You know, there is no breakfast, lunch, and dinner at set times. And these are.
So the man that she married did not grow up in a family unit.
Now, of course, when you make a generalization, what's the thing that they do? When you make a generalization, an acceptable generalization, most people in the United States of America do not have a set standard breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Most people, even successful people, probably do not have a set standard breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Now, was that lady wrong in attributing to that set time to something? Possibly. But it's just factual that most people do not keep a set time for breakfast, lunch, and dinner anymore. So to argue against that would be really stupid because most people just don't even do it. Most people do not eat together. They do not eat together at a table, and they definitely don't eat together at a table at a specific time. Most people. But let's hear what she's got to say. I'm sure it's going to be really intelligent.
He did not grow up with breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And she's projecting that on all Black Americans. I grew up in structure. I had breakfast, lunch, and dinner with my family. Dinner time was we set the table to eat as a family. Okay. That's how I grew up. But it's clear that the man that she married did not grow up like that.
Okay.
And he has convinced her that now all of us Black Americans don't have dinner with family.
He convinced her. So now this Black man is brainwashing her to believe that most Black Americans don't have dinner with family. When she said Americans, and especially Black Americans, because our families are not intact. So how is the family having dinner together if we're not intact, first of all? But even if we are, most Americans do not even have dinner together. They don't have dinner together at set times, which is what she said. So Yanie right now is doing the projecting.
That's insane. But that's how he grew up. That's what she told this man. I mean, that's what he told this woman. And now she's coming online speaking as if that's the cultural norm for all of us. And that's not.
Okay. For what? For what, Yanie?
Some of us, that is.
For some of us. She said especially for Black Americans. She didn't say for all Black Americans. It's a generalization. Are we 12? Are we 12? I'm so sick of having to say some, not all. It's a generalization.
It's true. But that's not for all of us. So
you shouldn't have to say that at this age. I'm so sick of that. I wish we could grow up. We've had 3 years of these conversations. Do we not understand how a generalization works? Do we have to say some, not all, every time? It's bothering me.
So I don't know what she's talking about, but I grew up with structure. I'm pretty sure there are other.
And I hate when they say the anecdotal evidence, but she's running with that. Well, I had a different experience. You're one of like 150 million families. Are you really going to put yours as the standard? No, like just Just accept that most of us don't have that experience. Most of us don't have two parents in the house. It's just the truth. And it's okay. Like that's it's okay to face reality. Like I swear to God, online, the social media space has made delusion more transmissible than herpes. Like delusion is catching and it's spreading across the country faster than HPV. It is crazy.
Black Americans that grew up with structure as well, where there was dinner time, there was family meetings where the family would come together and we would have family meetings and the kids would get lectured.
There was also Black people that were DC snipers. Okay, we can do a lot of things. There are Black rodeo clowns. What else? Do we have to say that everything that at least one Black person did? If one Black person did it, that's what we do? No.
Dad would be carrying the conversation. Mom would be the supportive wife, and she would chime in every now and then when it comes to certain things that she wanted to put her input on. So, some of us didn't grow up with this narrative that all of us just come from broken homes where there was no father figure at all. There was no head of house or anything like that.
Facts.
There was order, there was structure, there was a time management, there was a schedule, there were obligations like cleaning, cutting the grass, picking up after ourselves, and things like that. We had chores that we had to do, things we had to get completed.
And I didn't.
Okay. I don't know why people are trying to push that narrative that that's the entire Black American
Nobody said it's the entire Black
community. It's
Nobody
not.
said that. Nobody's ever
it's
said
not.
that. Nobody's ever said that.
Let's continue. But if you listen, just listen to what she's saying. And she's telling you the man that she married. She's telling you the type of Black man that she married.
And that's all she's saying. This is the type of Black man that I married. Why are we arguing her experience? Her experience is her expertise. Let her have that. She knows the man she married. You don't. Let her know him. Don't try to argue him out of his own experience. Yellow was just on the panel last night. A guy was saying his own experience and his own feelings, and a woman was telling him, no, you don't feel like that. No, that's not the choice you would make. It's the craziest thing. It is the craziest thing.
Man that is traumatized. He has experienced a lot of trauma in his life, and now she has to deal with that. She has to overcompensate in those areas. So now she probably makes it a point that every time that she wants something to drink, she has to consider him first. Every single time.
Now again, this lady led with that. That's how she started, because she wanted to prove to him that she wanted to show that she should be chosen. That's on her. That had nothing to do with his trauma. If he had trauma, he had been neglected. Like, it's so weird that she projected this onto him. He's traumatized.
OCD. But when you're dealing with someone that has not healed from their trauma, you have to overcompensate in those areas or they'll take it the wrong way. So every time she gets a drink, she has to offer him something first.
Again, he never even asked for this. He never asked for any of this. She just did it because she wanted to show him something. She wanted to, hey, I'm the person you should pick because I'm willing to do all of this for you. That's on her. That has nothing to do with his trauma. That has nothing to do with his background. That's how she started the relationship. That is crazy.
Anytime she fixes something to eat for herself, she has to offer it to him first because he didn't have that growing up. That's crazy.
Of things that I introduced my husband to with my family. Can you imagine that impact that I had on him back then? So gentlemen, do not be afraid of traveling. There are so many more women out there who are willing to take care of you. It doesn't matter if they're young. It doesn't matter if they're older.
My bad. I forgot to do this. We actually slipped over. We're in the part two. My bad. This is where we're at now. We're into the misandry war. It has not gotten into the lexicon because we only talk about misogyny war. The hatred of Black women, but right now we're into the misandry war. I forgot to put that up before we started this video, but this is the portion where we're talking about Black women. They just don't like Black men. They're averse. They have the hatred of Black men because that's what this is. That's what this is. She's projecting trauma on this man who had a baseline experience where he did not get a dearth. He did not get a lot of emotional care in the way that she shows it. We don't know how much care he got. He might have gotten care in a very specific way, but it was not asking you about your food, asking you about your drink, and it was not gifting, because there's another video that'll come up a little bit later about her gifts. He didn't get this type of treatment and care that she is used to giving. We don't know what type of care he got. That's never been a part of this conversation. He could have been cared for very well. And the fact that Yanie's calling it trauma is slightly problematic. It's the weaponization of therapy talk. I only know, there's probably a word for it somewhere. But she's weaponizing therapy talk to put trauma on this man that nobody knows is traumatized. He just wasn't cared for in this specific way by a romantic partner or by his family. But that's not the only way to care. Asking about food, asking about drink, and buying gifts. Those aren't the only ways to care.
Y'all, that's when she really lost me. She was like, there are plenty of women out there that are ready to take care of you. Yep, because I'm not doing, y'all, I'm not going to be a surrogate mother.
A surrogate mother. A surrogate mother. To actually care to put food on somebody's plate, to ask them if they want something to drink, is now a surrogate mother. This is the man that she married, may have kids with, I don't know. It's presumably having sex with, but we know we saw that 20-year marriage where there was no sex. So I don't know. They might not even be having sex. But it's weird to call a relationship like that a surrogate mother. Why are Black women so quick to think of care as motherhood? Do not you want a spouse that cares for you? Because I keep hearing that they want a provider. Provision is a type of care. They want to be protected. Protection is a type of care. So do Black women want to only receive care but not give it? That's kind of weird. So you're talking about your growth. That means you haven't grown mentally. Because it's weird that you would want to receive something that you're not willing to give. If you think giving care makes you paternal, then why would you ask the guy to become your father? That's just as weird as you becoming his mother. There's a problem with the thinking. It's not very smart. It's not very educated. It's not very elevated. It's not high vibrational plate. It's not giving everything that you think is giving. There's no growth there. It's very immature. It's very convoluted. It's showing you you're not where you think you are. You're not as smart as you think you are. This is probably a mental health crisis, like Yella said earlier. Yeah, it's crazy. And so be it. So be it. But if caring about somebody and fixing them a plate makes you their mother, I'm my nephew's mother, I'm my mother's mother, I'm my friend's mother. I've gotten drinks and plates for a healthy dose of people. I've fed elders at my mother's church. I bought like $200, $300 worth of food and fed them like I was Jesus. Now I'm their mother because I fed them, according to the logic of this Black woman. So I'm not sure why that nurturing has become a negative. And there's a whole group of Black women that do not want to nurture or care for anybody. It's weird, especially when you think that you're going to have a husband and think that you're going to have children. If you don't know how to care and to nurture, why would anybody select you to be the mother of their child? That's stupid. So men need to be careful, because women that have this mentality are not going to be good mothers for your child. It's crazy. I want a nurturing man, and I don't care what anyone calls that. Facts. But I ain't doing diapers until he can't use the restroom anymore. Hey, listen, let it go. You gotta let it flow sometimes.
They are literally taking so much off of our hands. Like, oh my God.
Yes, just asking a man if he wants something to eat or something to drink is taking so much work off of your hands. Oh my God. She doesn't even want to ask if he wants something to eat or drink. Now imagine guys saying the same. I don't even want to ask you if you're hungry. I'm about to get something to eat. I'm not even going to ask you. He would be selfish. They probably call him a narcissist. It's crazy. That's how tough that these women have gotten, that they don't even want to ask. I don't even want to have to ask you if you're hungry or thirsty when I'm going to the kitchen. If I'm cooking, I don't want to know if you're hungry, because I'm just here for myself, and you need to be here for myself too.
They don't even understand, girl. They don't understand, but they gonna find out. They gonna find out. They gonna find out. Ready to take care of you. That sounds crazy.
Does it?
That sounds
crazy.
so exhausting.
It sounds crazy and
exhausting.
It sounds crazy and exhausting to take care of somebody. You don't want a relationship. You don't want children. I hope that she stays unmarried and childless. I swear to God. I swear to God. And I hope all the women that believe like her stay unmarried and childless, because nobody deserves to be stuck with somebody that does not. It's funny because the level of neglect that the German woman is pointing in her husband is the kind of neglect you get from somebody that talks like this. I don't want to have to feed you. I don't want to have to. She's the very person. It sounds taxing to her to ask if to care about if you're hungry or thirsty. That's exhausting to her. That's the kind of mom that makes the husband that's been neglected. It's wild. And she doesn't see.
They are willing to take care of you, willing to work with you, willing to be a part of your life. You don't have to deal with whatever you are dealing with back in your hometown, because unfortunately, a lot of American women are lost in the delusional world that they are living in, and they don't even understand that they are going to be lonely for a long time, if not for the rest of their life. They say by choice, but I don't believe them.
And it's crazy because she lives.
But a lot of them are okay, happily being alone. Because again, doing something for somebody else is exhausting. I'm one of those people. I don't want the responsibility of tending to somebody else, but you need to know that about yourself. I'm not pretending to be on some healing self-love journey to fix myself so that I'm ready for a relationship and family. I'm not that guy. She's not that woman. I don't know if she'll ever admit that. She's just not. She doesn't want a relationship, doesn't want responsibility, doesn't want to sacrifice. I understand because I'm selfish too. But we have to be able to admit that. Got to.
In a delusional world. She don't know it yet. And she's going to be lonely in this marriage because she's going to be giving and giving and giving.
She's been lonely for 15 years. She's been lonely for 15 years in this marriage. She's speaking on somebody who's been married for 15 years and she's never been married. Talking about this woman's going to be lonely in her marriage that she's been in for 15 years. And this woman's never been married. What are you talking about?
Giving and giving and giving and giving and giving emotionally and mentally and spiritually. And she's going to feel lonely in that relationship because she's dealing with a man that most likely is not emotionally available.
She has no basis for that. She just made that up. That's what she thinks about black men. That's all that. That's the only thing that can be. She has no basis for what this black man, what his capacity is. He's been with this woman for 15 years. If he was emotionally unavailable to a place where it was creating discontent for her, she probably would have realized that by now. But Yanie knows, after seeing one clip for 3 minutes, what this man is like and what this woman is going to experience. Man, 40 years is going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. Imagine this person as an elder teaching people. Teaching people. Talking about she going to learn. They've been together 15 years. This woman here on this screen has probably never had a relationship longer than 2. But talking about what a woman that's been in one for 15 years is going to go through. Ain't got a clue not a clue in the first.
Because he didn't grow up being emotionally available. He came from a broken family. So she got a lot on her hands. We're going to wish her well, and we're just going to move on. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And she said, average Black American male.
What's wrong with that? The average person is the average person. Most people are average. So there's something to that. She didn't like the fact that it was an average Black American male. There was something there. Let's see if she says it.
That's crazy. Bless her. Yeah, bless her. Amen.
Oh, doing all of that for an average man is even worse than doing it for
That's so true. Thank you for the super chat.
The kind of man she thinks she should get.
That is so true. That is so true. Yep, I had to learn that the hard way. So yeah, I'm not mad at this at all. And the Black men that are praising her are Tyrese's baby boys, like men who don't want to be men who are looking for a second mother. So I'm not really tripping about this situation. I really do wish her well, because when she,
man, so any guy that thinks that somebody is actually trying to show them trying to, I hate the I ain't mad shit. Listen, she's crazy. She's crazy. Then why are you talking about it? Because she's happy for the growth of black women, for going into her comment section and being passive aggressive and snarky. She's happy for their growth. Yes, absolutely, Yella. That's growth. Because before passive aggressive, it was just aggressive aggressive. So they've gone from aggressive aggressive, emotionally unregulated, to being able to feel that negative feeling, and instead of being aggressive and threatening people, just being passive aggressive and bitchy. That's growth. You should celebrate that like she is. Absolutely. So she made a lot of inferences and assumptions. We don't know who he dated before, who his family is. We don't know what they were like. We know for a fact that he didn't get the same type of care from her that he got from them. But there are multiple types of care. And all of them could be valid. All of them could be appreciated. We don't know that he felt that there was a deficiency there. That's weird. You know what else is growth? A boil. That's true. That's true. A tumor. That's true. A pimple. You making some points. You're making some points. To be fair to the black women that are bothered by this, she could have just made a black husband effect video. I ain't never ripped a set, baby. She could have done that and moved along. I get it. She could have shown her feeding or caring for him, like that one black woman did for her dog, where she was brushing his teeth and cutting up steaks and searing vegetables and feeding it to the dog, because dogs are worthy of care. Black men are not, because that makes you a surrogate mother. And if I'm being honest, a boil and bitches only internalize lies. If I'm being honest, that clip from her, it actually does sound like competition, even though that caption was not her. That caption was not her writing about the black women are not competition. It does sound like that she is stating why she is better than the competition. But strangely enough, black women came behind her and validated her message. Like, I'm never doing all that. I'm never trying that hard. I'm never trying to impress upon a black man, especially an average black man. That's the message that they sent. And Yanie celebrating that message and parroting that message. I would never. I'm not trying to be anybody's mother. That's exhausting. That's too much competition for me. So it sounds like they're conceding defeat, because that's not a worthy prize. Either way, I'm defeated or that's not a worthy prize. I wouldn't even try that hard for that prize. Either way, that's cool. But understand that's what you're saying. It is competition. Whether the German lady's saying that, whether Yanie's saying that, it is. I do want to give black women credit for also knowing when they are being used as pawns in somebody else's game. Because I know a lot of people, I had a conversation with somebody, they were like, we're reading between the lines. There's no way that she can make that much content with black people in it and not know that it's landing, or I guess pointed towards black people. So it is, and I'll give y'all credit for that. But it does not excuse the willful ignorance to the point and the dogged refusal to directly address what her message is. At least Yanie directly addresses the message and says, I'll just never do that. I'll be a surrogate mother. I don't care about black men enough to do that. And an average one at that, even if I were to do that, it wouldn't be for an average one. Okay, at least she addressed the message. And we often hear about men that it's the delivery. Now we hear that it's the messenger. She's white, she's German, what she knows. She ain't been through our struggle. The truth is, and I am paraphrasing a quote, and I'm bastardizing the hell out of this. The Dred Scott decision. There is no right that a black woman is bound to respect. It doesn't matter who says it. It doesn't matter how. It doesn't matter if it comes, if this is a thing that black men or anybody else needs. If it comes at no personal cost to them, they're not trying to hear it. They're not going to learn from it. And This is the young lady, Mrs. Brooks, responding to the blacklash. Let me blacklash. That was unintentional, but it fits.
He was homeless, curious to why no Russian man wifed her if she had family values. We stay rent-free in everyone's head, or why is everyone obsessed with us, or who wants something from the store. Nobody's obsessed with you, honey, trust me. Those are the ones we don't want, sis. You're good. These women are so delusional, they are absolutely obsessed with themselves. Now, honestly, what justifies these women making comments like this? Am I the problem, or are they maybe the problem? I'll tell you what the issue is. They have a huge problem with someone who treats an American black man very, very well. And that's the problem they have, because they think no man deserves to be treated well if he doesn't pay. Excuse me, that doesn't even make any sense to me. If I can only be nice to you when you pay me, that makes me a whole prostitute. I'm sorry, I'm gonna just call it for what it is. You can get upset if you want to. The truth is always going to be the truth. And on this channel, all you will find is the truth, whether if you like it or not. I mean, isn't it true that the majority of modern women nowadays don't want the average man because they are just not good enough for this boss babe? But at the end of the day, these women forget, which makes them so delusional, these women forget that some of them, a lot of them, are below average. I mean, how can you sit there and put yourself on a pedestal, expect all men to do the same because you're wearing fake hair, because you're wearing fake lashes, because you have lip fillers, cheekbone fillers, forehead lip fillers, you are wearing certain type of clothes that make your body look a certain way. But once all of that comes off, I don't know who we're supposed to put on the pedestal. Surely not your ass. I also know for a fact that 90% of these women who are in that comment section are single. Single by choice, you know, because the average man is not good enough. Oh, but coincidentally, that high value man is not checking for them.
Not checking for you either. What's up, Quantum in the building, man? Appreciate you. Said you like her. Yeah, and they likes her too. That's what's up. That's what's up. I mean, she's just like a manosphere, red pill, passport broke content creator. It's not even that serious. Not even that serious. But of course, they got hot under the collar. She responded to it, and it's just a true message. To even come for her the way they did, it just shows their lack of integrity. Because most of us know that the black community does not have a lot of intact families. It does not. It just does not. And we do not have a culture that supports a lot of traditions of family building, like healthy family, like the family meetings and having breakfast, lunch, and dinner together. We don't even have lifestyles in the United States in cities that give us the time to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner together. So what she said was absolutely true. Black women, some black women obviously just had a problem with it. That's why she doesn't take Germans. Those hands will make it. Look, place I can't send you. Her accent definitely shows she's been around an American black man for 15 years. Yeah. So this is another reaction, and I could not download this one to get it clear. So I don't know how YouTube is going to let this play. We're about to find out though. This is one of our one of the sisters. Like Yanie was pissed, and this lady didn't like it either.
When back then boyfriend came to visit me in Germany back in 2006, I had to prove to him that I was better than everybody he dated before, and that I'm going to be better than everybody that he could possibly date in the future. So I took the man on trips. I bought him everything that he wanted to have and stuff that he didn't even want to have, and I had to let him know, look, I adore you.
So femininity had nothing to do with it. You was just a trick.
A trick.
It's easy to get a man when you footing the bill.
Mm.
You flying him out. You buy him everything under the sun. You cook, clean, and pop pussy. Who wouldn't want that? Hell, I want that. You found an average black man. That's what you called him. An average black man from America. Bought him any and everything he could possibly want, even things he didn't think he wanted. You wait on him hand and foot. And you had the nerve to come on here and say it was easy because black women don't do nothing. We ain't doing that. You're doing too much. It's giving
slave. It's giving slave.
Why would any one of us want to subject ourselves to that? And for all the black women that came on here like, she's right. Black women, we aren't feminine. Black women, we aren't catering to our men. Girl, you sound dumb. You sound very much stupid. And I hope you feel even stupider after finding out this pillar of femininity ain't nothing but a low down dirty trick.
Man. So that's how she felt. Doing all that for a man is like a slave, but they want a man to do it for them. Absolutely right, Quantum. So we're getting slaved out. Dudes are getting slaved out. Had no idea this entire time. Had no clue. We are getting slaved out. Ain't nothing wrong with appreciating your man. Don't tricks get paid? It ain't tricking if you got it. Wouldn't he be the trick in that scenario? He's tricking. Well, no, she's paying. So she's a trick. Man, what does she do in a relationship? Probably nothing. These 3 or 4 is insane. They sound dumb to be the ones that can't even maintain a pookie. Now listen, like she said, they don't want an average black man. They want a baller or something. They want something. They want the high value. They want something that looks good on social media. That ain't most of us. So they're not going to do all that for us, especially. They probably would do all that for a baller. Let a basketball player, a rapper. They probably would do any of that. I thought the trick was the hooker and the John was the customer. That's one way, but then it also became the trick. The person that was tricking is the one that's spending. So there's like 2 different cultures. There's prostitute culture. There's different worlds, and worlds collide. So you just have a moment of worlds colliding. That's all that is. There's worlds colliding. That's all. They're all true. It's true each way from a different culture. That's all. You're good. So, if taking care of someone 100% makes you a trick, and we know anybody that's watched Kendra G, anybody that's watched these dating shows, Pop the Balloon, a lot of people are looking for providers, 100% providers. That's what they're asking for. That's what they say their ideal is. Somebody that's providing 100%. So they're looking for somebody to trick on them. Like she said, that just makes people glorified prostitutes. I don't know where the culture has gone. We're not admitting that. We're not talking about that. Well, the culture is just making people prostitutes. It's weird that we've gotten to this point. So having said all that, my boy Yellow was in a conversation last night I'm about to play a clip from. Yep. Absolutely. Okay, I was super confused. Bro's getting paid for that pipe, though, for sure. But there was a bit of a clip I'm going to play that Yellow was in this conversation about this very topic.
And this is the problem, because we treat broke like treating bad. Nigga, if you ain't making no money, you ain't making no money. Sometimes, Cat, believe it or not, you just going to be broke.
No,
guess
that's
what? You want to know why? Hold on. Let me, you know why?
women
Because it's
treating men right.
systemic. Hold on. We, black people, put a dollar amount on how we treat people.
Well, that
especially
shouldn't
when
be the
they
case. That should be
hold
the
on,
case.
hold on. You just said it though. You just
No,
said
I
a
said
woman would treat.
I said women are not going to be mouthing off to a wealthy man. Doesn't matter what race she is.
Exactly.
Like, you have a lot more to lose.
Exactly. So when I say that, and I'm told it's not a thing, and then you turn around and say that a woman wouldn't mouth off to a wealthy man, because why wouldn't she have just as much to lose with a man who isn't wealthy?
Because she doesn't have anything to lose, Yella. If you're
the thing is,
you don't have anything to lose. Somebody who's wealthy is not gonna, if she knows she's gonna lose her businesses, her homes, her cars, and all that, she's not gonna be as voiceful as a woman who's living at your mom and dad's house. You know what I mean? Like, she's frustrated. There's a different frustration. That's all I'm saying. She's not going to respect him the same way because he's not providing for her.
Well, can I ask a calm question? Why would you treat a man different based on his finances if you're just looking for love?
I can answer that. I don't think a woman should treat him differently for his finances, but I don't think she should be with him if he's not able to be what she needs him to be. Like you shouldn't.
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad
if
you
a
said
man's
that.
not ready to be
Everybody stay
married
right
and to
there.
provide and take care of his family, he shouldn't be in that position to do that. And a woman should.
Okay, I'm glad you said that because everybody stay right there where you are.
Ladies, you gotta compete for your man if you want that man to realize that you are a keeper. See, Americans are a rarity and a specialty here in Germany. So when my husband, back then boyfriend, came to visit me in Germany back in 2006, I had to prove to him that I was better than everybody he dated before and that I'm going to be better than everybody that he could possibly date in the future. So I took the man on trips, I bought him everything that he wanted to have and stuff that he didn't even want to have, and I had to let him know, look, I adore you. I appreciate you coming all the way from America to Germany and come visit me, and I have to prove to you, and I will do everything and anything that is in my power to show you that I am the one. Why am I saying this? I just want to tell you, gentlemen, that there are women who will compete for you.
She meant there's women who will buy you. Because that's not competing, that's buying someone.
What the fuck we do with y'all? What the fuck we do with y'all? We don't buy y'all?
Wait a minute, but I'm just saying, you're making that like you're putting this out there like that's what women. Hold on, I have a problem putting that video out there is if women are supposed to take care of a man, and that's what women are looking for is a woman who's going to.
That's a good man. You be like, that's a good man, Savannah. You would say that's a good man, Savannah. You would heap good man on him. You wouldn't have nothing negative to say about him because that's what y'all expect to us. The bad part is that's what should be expected on both sides. But you looking at he buying it, then we're doing the same thing with y'all.
She
then
said
we're buying y'all.
She's not competing. What she's doing is she's
but y'all
buying
do
her
the
boyfriend.
same thing with us. You make men compete for y'all. Men compete for women. Why on God's green earth would you not understand the concept?
A man shouldn't have to compete for a woman.
It's crazy, like the cognitive dissonance, man. The brains just don't be braining. It's crazy. It's a nasty spirit women have inside them. They think they're the prize and the man is simply a provider. But provider means that you're buying somebody. Why do women want to be bought? By her own logic. She's saying that providing is buying somebody. That's what Yellow is pointing out. Why does that, if a providing is buying from a woman, why is not providing buying from a man? Why is it different? It's weird. It's a trap. You're going to end up guarding the camps. Hey, once you, I can't stand you. No, the German lady is not building any camps. Greg, stop it. Now listen. Now, personally, from personal experience, I remember this. I vividly remember this. I was working with this woman in 2005, and she happened to be on public assistance, saying her dude had to make 6 figures. Now, I know for a fact the dude that she was dating at the time, he died, did not make 6 figures. And the dude that she dated and eventually married right after that did not make 6 figures. He might make 6 figures now, but it's been, 20 years almost? I have a relative that said she would only date somebody on a lawyer. Now, every dude she's dated has needed a court-appointed lawyer. So I know people for a fact say one thing, and there's a big chasm between what they say and what they'll actually do. Because reality hits like Mike Tyson in his prime. And one little gut shot, and everybody bends that knee to reality. So I get it. That delusion don't last too long on everybody. We come back to that point, but they end up dealing with the pookies. That's right. But they do a whole lot of talking about the kind of man that they want to pay for everything, to buy them, according to Kat. And at this point, it's financial domination. It's financial abuse to ask men to pay for everything and not to get anything emotional or financial in return. Our contributions are expected, and women do not want to reciprocate. That's financial abuse at this point. I'm going to call that. What's good, IG? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Good to see you. Now, it doesn't matter what women say they want. They have to pick from the dudes who ask them. That's facts. Women are delulu, but they get it from somewhere, and someone feeds it to them to keep it alive. Happy wife, happy life. Yes, I would say women feed it to women, but men are we're enablers. We're enablers. Women are the pushers, but we're enablers. We're going to drive you to the crack spot. We're going to pick you up from the crack spot. We're going to make sure you keep your job while you're high on crack. We're enablers. We'll help women keep the delusion going. But it's women feeding women the delusion. I refuse to believe otherwise. But time has destroyed great civilizations, flattened mountains, turned grasslands into deserts, carved canyons out of the earth. Time be turning people's standards into sinkholes that they get buried in. But we are about to move on to part 3. Bam. Power bottoming. Now listen, I am constantly hearing women and womanized men say that in patriarchy, the women are oppressed and commodified. Now, I got a problem with that. I know CTV makes fun of me because I'm King Patriarchy. Remember when the brown skin woman with the blonde wig, she was saying it's screaming insecurity, and she said like, it's giving slave, it's giving slave, it's giving slave. All right, remember that she said it's giving slave. Like, remember that point. I'm about to play this video real quick.
They want to do. They not building nothing, right? But we give the black male an excuse, right, for losing in a patriarchal game, a game against man, man against man. This ain't got nothing to do with women. Women ain't nothing but commodities and property in a man-to-man war.
Okay, you might want to make note of that. She's saying in a patriarchal society, women are commodities. This has nothing to do with women. That's right. So right there, talk, bro, through inference, women cannot gain empowerment in this society because it's about the domination of men. So have you ever heard her? Right. Who in the West Coast is this, man? Listen, that is the sexiest man alive. I don't feel gay saying that. I've never seen any man that looked as good as him. He's the only man that makes me want to put hands on him. And if I had this opportunity right now to hold it for him, I would hold it for him. Like, no cap. Not even lying. He's sexy. That dude is hot. That dude is hot. But he's the only man I feel like that for. I don't want any confusion with Greg, Dury. No confusion. That's the only man that would get me to, put hands on him in a nice way. You know what I'm saying? He's the only man that would get me to that place. But Princella talked about women are commodities. And I was wondering, how do we juxtapose women as commodities with men being responsible to give or to buy or to provide? Those are two weird ideas to hold in the same mind. But if you believe in patriarchy, you believe that men are supposed to play that role, to provide, to take care of. But then you're saying, on the other hand, that women are the commodities. Where's your capital? If men are providing everything, how are you a commodity? It doesn't make any sense. You're not providing any capital and you're not giving any care. So what then, how in the patriarchy are you useful if you don't provide capital and you don't provide care? It doesn't make any sense to me. So if now men are being exploited for resources, we're the slaves. We're the drones, like Princella has talked about in her little lesbian fantasy camp. And the patriarchy is finally dead. And we can quit talking about a patriarchy because it doesn't make sense with these dynamics. If the men are expected to provide and the women don't even have to give care back, and that's expected, if that's understood, if that's accepted and promoted, there is no more patriarchy. And quit saying it. Shut up about it. I swear to God. I'm going to pull this video up before I get hyped up on patriarchy because it irks me. It irks my soul every time I hear it because I know that it's not real the way it used to be real. But I'm going to play this video and we're going to talk about this too.
You know what I don't understand? Maybe someone out there can help me out. I went to bed scrolling on my For You page, and that German lady was all over my For You page. talking about how she is in no competition with black women and that she has her average black man.
Yeah, that's right.
I woke up this morning and that same German lady is all over my For You page. Here's what I don't understand, and maybe somebody can help me out. If she is so happy with her average black man, if she is so happy with serving her average black man a drink before she gets a drink for herself, if she is ecstatic with her average black man serving him and asking him if he wants a meal before she gets herself something to eat, if she is so happy with her average black man, then why is she not off enjoying her average black man? Why is she on the internet attempting to antagonize black women?
Boom. Insecurity. Why is she trying to antagonize black women? She's talking to black men. She's speaking to black men. It's not even about you. You're the useful idiot in this conversation. You're the useful idiot. You're the tool that's getting used to scratch the back of a black man because he feels neglected. It's not about you. Everything's not about you, Jan. Or is it Marsha? Marsha. Everything's not about you. And if her life is so wonderful, why is she on the internet? Well, what's that? Like, I'm rubber, you're glue. Everything that you say bounces off of me and sticks to you. Why, if your life is so wonderful, why are you on the internet? Why do you have time to talk about and even view the German woman? If everything that you've manifested, if all your black girl magic has culminated into such a wonderful life, why are you here? So we have to be careful about the things that we say because they typically and often cut both ways. It cuts both ways. Why are you here? If your life is so wonderful, your life's so magical, you're in your pajamas, for God's sakes. Blazing Saddles scene in real life. I don't remember the movie, man. Same reason you're not entertaining your average black man. Facts. That's why I don't listen to women talk, because Jesus. I promise when I get my man, people are gonna be sick of me. Now listen, let me let her cook for a minute.
Over her choice of an average black man. I find it
and
odd.
Why are they so offended about an average black man? Don't they know that they're average black women? Like, they're very average. This is very average. Like, this is super average. Or below.
That if you are this spectacular woman, then why hasn't someone from your own race or ethnicity snatched you up? I mean, you sound like a prize. I mean, you will cater to a man. You will feed him before you feed yourself.
So you won't? You wouldn't cater to a man? You wouldn't feed a man before you fed yourself?
You will make sure he has all the comforts needed. So why didn't someone from your own race and ethnicity snatch you up?
What if she has her own wants?
I'm a firm believer in people dating who they want to date,
loving you really
who
believe
they
in that?
want to love, marrying.
I'm a firm believer, but I gotta ask why no German snatched you up?
Whomever they want to marry. My problem is when it comes to white women like that German woman, and let's be clear, her husband, her black man, who is behind the scenes dogging black women.
That's the same thing Yanie said. Yanie said the same thing. Isn't that weird? That both of these black women who probably don't know each other are assuming that the black man is telling the white woman negative things about black women? Why do we assume that? Why do you think they both said that? They both had the same question. Why aren't the German men grabbing you up? If you're so swell, if you're so amazing, if you're so fantastic, why did the German men let you walk by? Forget the fact that she might have wanted something for herself that wasn't a German man. Isn't she autonomous? Don't y'all believe in feminism? Doesn't she have a choice? Her body, her choice. Does she not? And then they're both like, this man must be poisoning her against black women. I would hazard a guess. That across the entire globe, without a man saying a thing, that there's an unfavorable opinion about black men and black women in every country that has a television set. It's just a guess. I can't prove it. But I would bet if we were not having the conversation about the German woman, and I asked this woman here, if there was anti-black sentiment in all industrialized countries, she would say yes. I don't think he needs to say anything to the woman for her to have a negative opinion.
So she feels secure with him. And so she in turn gets on the internet to attempt to dog black women. So she feels secure in her relationship with that black man. That's the problem that I have with white women like.
And dogging, nobody dogged black women. Nobody dogged black women. She stated facts that are provable, statistically. Provable. You're arguing against data at this point. Now, if you want to say it's not contextually considering the factors that cause the statistics, that's cool. But let's not act like most black families are intact. Let's not be that obtuse. Let's not be that reflexive to seeing a white woman say something about black people that we start lying. These women act like their behavior isn't on display for everyone to see. It's crazy. It's crazy to even come to these conclusions.
Her and black men, the type of black man that she is married to, because you know he has to be in her ear telling her that black women ain't shit and that she is the bomb.com.
Gotta be.
The bottom line is, for as secure as she's attempting to portray herself to be, she is not. Because if she was so happy with her average black man, if she felt so secure in her relationship, she would not feel a need to get on the internet to attack what she says is no competition for her. She would just be off enjoying and loving on her black man.
Okay.
I see you.
So again, like I said, that cuts both ways. Why is she on the internet? That means her life must be miserable because she's on the internet cutting videos daily. So if you're on the internet, like me, we must be miserable. Our life must be unenjoyable. This can't be a part of our life. Our life must be fantastic off the internet because that would keep us off streaming. We wouldn't cut videos. Neil deGrasse Tyson, who does Star Talk, and people that make money doing YouTube. If science was so wonderful, Neil deGrasse Tyson wouldn't have time or inclination to do Star Talk. It doesn't make sense. Shay, if talking sports was so fantastic, he would enjoy talking sports so much that he wouldn't have time to do Club Shay. If this logic is not logicking, the brains of these women has been corrupted by, I don't know, Hennessy, materials from China, I don't know. But they're not thinking because that cuts for her too. If being on the internet means that your life isn't wonderful, that means she's telling on herself. And it's weird to see people do that. Where's the white American women making videos about her? Because she said Western American women. Absolutely. She's got a brand. Why is she out doing this? Exactly. It takes a minute to get up again after you finish. She can't be loving on him 24/7. She should. Absolutely. If he's so wonderful, she should be on him 24/7. Shouldn't even breathe. I thought the point is to show the best parts of your life on the internet. Not if it offends black women. They would rather her be on the internet saying her average black man ain't shit. Because it would confirm their bias. And again, she said attack too. So I just want to revisit this real quick because she said the same thing. An attack carries with it a very specific intent. Forceful, to set upon or work against forcefully, to assail with unfriendly or bitter words, to begin to affect or to act on injuriously. Bitterness, forceful, injurious, all of those have a connotation of negative intent. They're not being attacked when somebody says black families are not intact. That's not an injurious, that's not bitter words, and that's not forceful. It's just factual. It's statistically provable. When we hear black people talking about it, what it is a complaint. Because we're expressing the grief of existing, knowing that our families are broken. Me, myself, I grew up in a broken family. I'm discontented. I'm pained by that. It's a complaint when you hear a lot of black men talk about it. But what that lady was doing, the German woman was criticizing. She was considering the merits and demerits, the pluses and minuses, the pros and cons. And she was judging accordingly, evaluation to find fault with, point out the faults. So why all of the black women are feeling attacked, not all of course. Let me be that person. Not all, some, not all. While the ones that are having these negative responses are feeling attacked, they're feeling attacked by complaints by black men and criticism by everybody, anybody that has eyeballs. But they're not being attacked. And it's a lack of literacy and emotional intelligence that you can't tell the difference. So all that growth that Yanie talked about, it doesn't exist. Does not exist. Does not exist. Why she got the goofy ass head tilt trying to show off that blonde ass white woman? Listen, and we could talk about insecurities all day. And that blonde hair, listen, that blonde hair, man, listen. We can fix broken families by turning them German. Absolutely. What's up, Nova? Good to see you, my guy. Good to see you. So, like she said, must be insecure. Must be insecure to be on the internet. Because if she was secure, she wouldn't be on the internet. So all the people who are responding to her also must be insecure because they're on the internet, right? I say so. But she said, why don't German men pick her? But is it possible that German women fetishize black men like a lot of other people do? Is that possible? She actually has a video that talks about how German women love black men. So there's a fetish. I'm never going. That word escapes me. Fetishization. It's something like that. You know what I'm trying to say. But it does not have to be demeaning. It does not have to be demeaning to black women that other people fetishize us. Because there's people that fetishize black women. It's not a demerit on us that people fetishize y'all. It is what it is. So why do we make these grand assumptions about her not wanting to be wanted or her not being wanted by her own men? I know. Don't. I'm wordly. Fetish. Nope. Black men wanted Eve, the rapper. Black men wanted Serena Williams, but they still chose white men. What does that say about them? Couldn't they find a black man that wanted them? Or is it okay for them to want somebody else and somebody else to want them? Aren't they desirable to other people? I would say yes. But she said all of them people will say they believe in people finding love where they find it. But all of them had a problem with her having a black man. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the social hierarchy with black women, because this has come up a couple of times. I'm going to play this quick video. I'm going to come back. I got too many videos I got to scroll through. Let me delete some of these while it's playing.
And I hate to say this, I said it once, I'm going to say it again. Black women are in the best position to speak for everybody because we sit on the bottom of the pyramid. Everybody above us has to do well.
Explain this pyramid.
Well, so if you look at a white supremacy pyramid, you got white men at the very top, white women underneath them. Then underneath them, you have all of the sort of non-white, Asian, Hispanic. Then underneath them, you have black men. And then underneath them, at the largest part of the pyramid, you have black women. And I'm not talking numbers. I'm talking about where you sit in the pecking order. And from that perspective, if you have the person at the very top, their perspective is extremely narrow. They can't see beyond that perspective of that tiny little triangle at the top. But the people at the bottom see every layer above them. They have the perspective inclusive of everybody. So if you flip that pyramid over and it's now an upside down triangle, the group at the top has the vision and the perspective to include all layers beneath them. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about inverting that triangle. right? So that all policy and thinking starts from the most inclusive perspective, not the most exclusive perspective. And that's kind of where we are. The majority of decisions in America are made by the people with the most exclusive perspective, not the people with the most inclusive perspective.
Like Bree said, that's not how pyramids work. But it's interesting that Quantum said this, because that was Princella's teaching too. You don't say.
So black males are in a fucked up position on the hierarchy. So black males are in a fucked up position on the hierarchy. Why? Because black women are on the absolute bottom.
Oh.
And in a patriarchal society, women are a resource to men.
So again, in a patriarchal system, which is the one you're in, which is the one she's talking to the women in, women are a resource to men. Now, I could be petty and tie that back into the whole manosphere red pill thing, where they keep saying women are helpmeets. Women are commodities. Different language, same idea. She's telling y'all that the red pill men and the manosphere men were right. That's what she's saying. Women are commodities in this system. Y'all are helpmeets. Are y'all going to take up that position? Do y'all want that in perpetuity? Because she's not going to offer you anything different.
Nope.
You're helpmeets. That's your role. She's saying to submit. Submit. No, she didn't say submit. That's what average
black women are the ultimate resource in patriarchy. Black women like to say that white women are the biggest supporters of patriarchy, but that is false. Black people are the biggest consumers, and that would be black women are the biggest consumers. Black women's brokenness, black women's dysfunction, black women's self-hatred, black women's inability to keep their legs closed, and their support of black men are necessary to uphold patriarchy.
Wow. So all of the harm that black women have endured that has them coming to Princella, all the hurt and the harm and the fear, that's what's wrong with y'all. That's what's driving y'all to be consumers, because, like I said, people in heightened emotional states are more susceptible to influence. That's what marketing does, is influence. So they drive you to buy. Impulse control. We have less impulse control. Poor people, not just black.
Right.
Poor people have less impulse control. Delayed gratification. You've heard some of these terms before. I know you've heard some of these terms before. People play on that.
Teach.
What's that? The marketing in the United States, they spend billions of dollars each year to study how to get around your impulse control.
Every year.
Which colors
every time
make you more likely to buy? What sounds? What does this make you think? What does it make you feel? All of that. This stuff is studied, not just for black people, because we're human. Everybody's susceptible to this to various degrees, depending on how you grew up, what you were taught, what you understand, how you live your life. But if you're a traumatized average black man who was neglected by his single mother, oh God. At the top of the pyramid actually says Al Sharpton, founder of the KKK. That ain't the pyramid, child. Well, you can look down, not forward, Blue Troops, talking about the pyramid. Who at the top just only looking straight out. You supposed to look down at your peasants. I used to watch Princella, watch her just to know what she's telling people, because it was crazy. That sounds like Bible talk. It was. There was a lot of Bible talk in there. Commodities are bought and sold. Pretty sure we outlawed that. We outlaw versions of that. Very direct sale. But if you tell somebody they have to provide for you, and you don't have to provide for them, you don't have to care for them, you're kind of being bought. Because we saw Kat in that conversation. Kat said, well, you're buying a person. So we're still buying people. It's just different now. Study. Von Eric, blessings. Von Eric in the building, man. Appreciate you coming through, my guy. So here's the thing. Because I know black women are tired of being discussed by everybody. I get it. But this is reality. Everyone is someone else's topic. Everybody is somebody's content for the day. And it's only the insecurities that are making us unable to handle it. Look at how white men have become the new victims, conservative right. As their insecurities grow, so too does their sensitivity to being discussed, to being diminished, to being displaced, to being disenfranchised. So it's a human thing. And I want y'all to understand that so that y'all can recognize and empathize like we can for the black woman. We understand. I understand. Y'all tired of getting talked about. I didn't like that whole bear conversation. That one bothered me. It bothered me. But I can get over it because I know that's what the internet's for. People are going to have conversations. Some of them are going to be profane. Some of them are going to be insulting and inflammatory. Some of them are going to be really insightful. Some of them are going to be curious. There's going to be a whole host of things, but it's on us as adults to know what we can and cannot participate in and walk away. Take a break. That's on us. And if you can't hear another conversation about black women, turn it off. Hit the X. Hit the home button on your phone. We've got to be adults. Yanie talked about growth. Y'all got to grow. It's time to grow. You're not at the bottom of the pyramid anymore. I know you think you are, but you're not. Because you wouldn't be able to say the things that you're saying if you were at the bottom of the pyramid. Bottom of the pyramid doesn't have any options because everybody's on top of them. You have options now. Somebody else is on the bottom. And it's the person that you can tell to give me everything and I don't give you anything. That's kind of how you can tell who's on the bottom. The person that you can dictate terms to, that can't dictate terms to you, that's the person that's on the bottom. Who's that, black woman? Who's the person that you could say, give me your resources, I'm not going to give you any, and I'm not going to care for you in return? Who's that person? Who's the person you could say that to? Because Kat said a person with money. I can't do that to the person with money. Who are the people with money? It's not them. Who's the person that you get to say that to? So I think we should reform our view of what and how and who we are as a group. Feminism is very matriarchal. That's not going to work in this country. Patriarchy is dead. And I don't care what anybody says to the contrary. Men have become meaningless by and large, huge numbers. And that people feel comfortable saying that, like on The View, people feel comfortable saying that to millions of people, that men are useless, except the gay ones, because I can gossip with them, that you can say that publicly? There's no way. Nobody in power is doing anything about it. That's not patriarchal. Not at all. Men are not being looked after, cared for. The laws are not in their favor. That's not patriarchy. Now, I will admit the few people at the top are men, but they're not acting in the behest of men. They're not moving with the express advantage of men in mind, which makes it not a patriarchy. It's more of like an oligarchy. It's more about the money. And the men had the money because of the patriarchy that existed before. But because they're not in the business of empowering or protecting men as a class, which is what would be necessary for it to be a patriarchy, I do want to introduce you to what we should call it. Boom. Started from the bottom, now we're here. I want to let women know where they are, where they currently exist. I want to propose that black women start considering this new dynamic, new terminology. And shout out to Yella. I got it from a crystal chick.
The major Western religions are patriarchal. And that means it would only be right to see the exploitative aspect of the dynamics between males and females in a patriarchal context, right? In ancient African traditions and in some indigenous traditions, you see the position of the woman more elevated and balanced right? You have matrilineal systems, matrifocal systems, and matriarchal systems, which are three different things, right? So we'll just talk about like the matrifocal system means the line is focused on, or the progression of the line, the even like in Kemet, for example, right? The line of royalty comes through the womb, right? Through the mother. And as opposed to in patriarchal systems where the line comes down from the father, right? You take your father's last name. So that's matrifocal. It uplifts the woman in the womb and the position of mother. However, it's balanced with the male father principle. Whereas a matriarchal system would uplift the woman above the man, which is a different thing, right? Like things like modern feminism kind of embody more of that. But we're talking about ma'at, having a balance between the male and female energy and just seeing how both serve a role and a purpose. So
I want to talk about these three dynamics that she mentioned. Because see, a matrilineal, by definition, is a social system in which lineage, inheritance, and family ties are traced through the mother. The characteristics are the children belong to their mother's clan or family. Property and titles are often inherited through the female line, and an individual's social identity and inheritance are determined by their mother's lineage. That's what she mentioned with matrilineal. Then she mentioned the matriarchal, which is kind of like the feminist thing where the power comes through the woman. A social system in which women, especially mothers, hold primary power and authority in roles of political leadership, moral authority, social privilege, and control of property. The characteristics are women are the dominant figures in governance and societal roles, which is not going to happen. Authority and power are held by women, and societal rules and norms are often centered around female leadership, not going to happen. And the system is less common historically and contemporarily, but can be found in certain indigenous and ancient societies. It's just not feasible. Not feasible. But what I want us to focus on is the matrifocal. Because as far as Black community, Black culture, I believe this is what we should be. Matrifocal. The definition is a family structure where the mother is the central and most important figure in the family, often due to the absence or lesser role of the father. The characteristics, households are centered around the mother. The mother typically holds primary authority and responsibility for family and household decisions. And this structure can result from various factors, including economic, social, or cultural reasons that diminish the role of fathers. Now, it does not take away the power and authority of the men and the fathers. It just accounts for the lesser involvement and access of the men in the family, which is why I like this one the most for where we are, the matrifocal, because women, whether we like it or not, especially Black women in the Black community, like to be the center of attention, like to be the people who are the figureheads and have the say so until responsibility hits. Then they like to ditch it off to somebody else. We can argue that, but I've seen it too many times for anybody to convince me otherwise. So focusing on the woman having say, but somebody else being the trigger puller so that they have to take the responsibility. The man has the last say so that, hey, listen, honey, you make the decision. You go in there, you go to the car dealership, you go handle this, you talk to the landlord, you talk to the mortgage company. The man goes and handles the last thing with the paperwork or whatever. I think that's where we should kind of end up. Something along those lines. I think it would work. It's kind of the closest to where we are, where we've landed naturally because of the decimation of the family unit for whatever the reasons, if we don't even account for the reasons. If we start from where we are now, this is the closest to what we are that we could feasibly slide into, where men are still important. The women still get to feel important, boss chick, did it all by myself, and can still have authority resting in the hands of men. So everybody could feel satisfied. Everybody could get their little piece of cake. And the differences between the three. Matrilineal focuses on lineage and inheritance through the mother's line, which that's here nor there, don't care. Matriarchal, women, particularly mothers, hold primary societal power and authority. That's not going to happen in the United States. But what we could do, matrifocal, it centers on mother as the key figure in the household, often due to the reduced role of the father. which could be useful in a community that has 70 to 80% of the families with the mothers as the primary caregiver, the only person in the home. I just think that would be useful. But because of the half-witted, half-assed implementation of feminism, Black men and Black women are in competition. Forget a German woman. Black women aren't even really competing with German women. They're competing with Black men for both power and victimhood status, strangely enough. This society is creating a culture where everyone wants to be victim and call the shots, which is why this chapter is power bottom culture. But now that Black women make as much money, close to it, or more in some instances, they feel better than us. They feel superior, which is why they say an average Black man, they spoke down on multiple women. I showed you 3 different women. All of them spoke unfavorably about an average Black man. The way they said it with a little bit of disdain would make you think that they felt that they were above average. Anyone that thinks differently, that they feel better than us, does not listen to Black women talk. They keep saying that we are intimidated by them when they have success, when we have less money than they do, which is true to a point. And I'm going to show you why in a little bit. But because mostly they become assholes when they have more than us, because they're assholes now. Those 3 women were assholes. They think they're better than the average Black man. That's asshole behavior. And that's even without a man. All of them are probably single. So imagine adding a man to the mix that they feel better than, that they feel superior to. That's a bad mix. Sounds like heresy to me. Church women won't like it. Listen, I'm just saying, matrifocal is the way. But let's get into the finance. Let's set them pockets up. Because see, Black women and Black men, the median weekly earnings for full-time workers in service occupations. Black men make $624. Black women make $551. Around a $70 difference. Not a lot. $70 a week, $280 a month. That's decent. That's not a car payment. That's not a mortgage. That might get you gas and electric, depending on where you at. Depending on what kind of size place you got. That might be gas and electric. Maybe. But men are not that far ahead. Black men and Black women. Black men are not that far ahead financially. And that's the service sector. If you go up a grade and you add all occupational groups, so getting out of the service, low-end service sector, Black men make $830 a week, median, to $764. You're still getting about a $70 spread. So Black men are only about $70 ahead of their counterpart, regardless of occupation. And that could easily be attributed to the fact that women typically care for kids or have some kind of care capacity. Parents, kids. Now, they won't care for men. Now, we know they won't care for men because they've all said it's exhausting. But they'll care for kids and they'll care for their parents. They will care for their parents. So they probably got to take a little bit of time off. All the statistical data. Man, I don't know what's going on my tongue today. Pause. But all the statistics will show that women take a little bit more time off than men do. Men with kids work the most. Men that don't have kids work the second most. Then women without kids, and then women with kids. That's kind of the hierarchy within the genders. So women that have kids and don't have kids work a little bit less than men with or without. For whatever the reason, they take more time off. That would account, in my opinion, for the $70. That's like a day off a week. So they're not far behind. And also, we've heard from multiple women that men should be providing. Now, we're making the same amount, regardless of occupation, or in the lower end service sector. Black men and Black women are making the same amount and are expected to provide because we are supposed to buy women per cat. And that doesn't make sense because we only have an extra $70. So my expenses minus your expenses, I have to buy you for $70. And as Yanie and the two other black women said, the average black man is not worth caring for because I have $70 to spare. That's why. It's problematic. The math ain't mathing. But this is what happens, y'all. This is the truth, the reality of the finances. Finances are killing relationships. So back when I had that conversation with Wireless Woman, and I said we got to take women out the workforce, this is why. Because as long as women make as much as us, and we're still required to have that financial duty to care, this economy is not going to work for either of us, men or women. But the reason they say we're intimidated, and I found this. This is not a black woman talking. This is the reason that they call us intimidated when they get a little bit of money, because lifestyle creep is real.
Wedding's coming up. It's my best friend's wedding. I am in it. I'm a bridesmaid, and my boyfriend's not in the wedding, but I really want him to go, and he flat out refuses, saying that he can't afford it. And you know what? After all of this, like, if somebody's not willing to pay for at least like their half of this vacation, like, I don't know if I want to be in a relationship with them. It's a destination.
This wedding is in the Dominican Republic. This wedding is in another country. I can't afford to go to another country. This isn't my best friend.
That's true.
And I'm not flying to another country paying thousands of dollars.
But it is a moment for the girl that you're dating to be in a wedding of her best friends. When you want to be there to experience that with her.
I can look at the pictures. I mean, I want her to go. I want her to have a good time.
I understand that you want them there, but I'm sure there's going to be others that can't have their significant other with them, right? You know what I'm saying? So isn't it okay to go single and let Jamie save that money for another trip?
Really, if he can't afford to go to this wedding with me, I really don't know if I can afford to remain in this relationship with him.
Oh boy.
And when people feel like that, my bad. When people feel like that, I'm missing something. I'm missing an overlap. But when people feel like that, that's why men are intimidated. Because they will talk about jettisoning the relationship because you can't afford the things that they can afford. Well, you can't afford to take this couple $1,000 trip to see my friends who you don't even know. That's why men are intimidated, because we have the pressure of affording things that we can't afford to impress you and your people that we don't have any relationship with. That's what happens. If we can't afford your lifestyle creep, all the trips you like to take, because you know all the women like to travel now. Mind you, if we look at the news, that a lot of people are putting their travel on credit cards. They can't even afford the trips, but you're still taking them. Now, if I can't afford to take this trip and I'm not going to run up my credit to take it, then you're going to leave me. So I can't even have relationships with people unless I can afford the things that they do because they're assholes about it. Instead of just saying, I'll go on this trip, what I need to do is to be able to flex and look good and take my partner and travel around the globe and take social media pictures and all that stuff. And if you're not with me, I can't do that. I'm solo. That doesn't look good on IG. That doesn't look good on TikTok. That's what these people are doing. So all this social media flexing really going in people's lives, man. And men are catching the brunt of it because we got to follow the lifestyle creep that y'all have. And if we can't afford it, on top of everything else, all the luxury, because you know luxury is big now. Got to do stuff. Got to do it big. Got to be extra. And the men got to foot the bill. And we only make $70 more. Like what are we doing? Like financially, this is untenable. It's unsustainable. It's not realistic. So we have to quit being so arrogant and dishonest. It's hard to watch Black women constantly expose themselves online for who and what they are, and then be ready to fight the moment somebody calls them on it, the moment they get a little bit of criticism. And because they get caught out, Black men got to get put down. Average. And he's average? We got to be put down to make y'all feel better about yourselves because y'all insecure? Man, that's bully behavior. Bully behavior one-on-one. My bad, my eye. Men should have been told women to shut the fuck up a long time ago instead of happy wife, happy. Man, y'all, I'm with you. I'm with you. We've let stuff go too long. And now we are dealing with, where old girl at? Let me pull old girl back up here. On the right. Now we dealing with the beach, blonde, Brazilian, butt, bitter, broke, bully behavior of these 8B bras. And it's ridiculous. And it's these women that are so insecure on their healing journeys, on their self-love seasons. They're graduating from their marriages. They got their high vibrational retreats. They got their yoni steams, their vaginal rejuvenations, their chakra alignments, their prayer rooms, prayer closets. They don't have a space where they can hear a group they identify with being criticized or complained about, and for them to be able to emotionally restrain themselves and handle it like adults. It's not in them. The growth isn't there. It doesn't matter how many retreats. It doesn't matter how many books. It doesn't matter. None of it matters. They're not growing. They're not learning. They're not ready. They're actually regressing. All of the things that they're doing and learning and practicing, they're actually regressing. I don't even know how it works. I don't know how you can read all these books and go to all these classes and still come out worse than before you went in. I can't speak to that. But the data proves it all out. Families, finances, everything. The only thing that's improving is employability and education. That's it. While the rest of their lives are falling apart. Damn. Hey, if that's what she wants, she's sexy too. Hey, I feel you. And that's how we end up. We get stuck, and we get stuck, man, because they look good. I get it. I use happy wife, happy life in a sense. It's requirement. All that, but nothing to rejuvenate their character. Facts. Self-care has nothing to do with the effed up mindset. It's become the excuse. Facts. It's not taking accountability. That's the next issue. And you can't take accountability if somebody calling you on your behavior, if somebody can't call you on that, if they can't complain and criticize, and you can't take into account what they're saying, you haven't taken accountability. Way worse. Not wanting to actually change is a problem. But you got to stay off the internet. If you're not ready to change and you're not ready to hear people talk about your poor behavior, you got to stay off the internet, because I won't keep standing for it. I'm going to sit right here for it. And thank y'all for sitting with me. So I do want to say I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And I thank y'all for rocking with me this stream. I'm getting ready to head up out of here. I don't know what y'all going to do, but I will see y'all next time. And I'm going to chunk up oh, that's the wrong one. Chunk up the deuces. Oh, no, Mad Man. Long time no see. Good to see you. Yanie Steams.
All that bullshit's for the birds. You ain't nothing but a vulture. Always hoping for the worst. Waiting for me to fuck up. You'll regret the day when I find another girl, yeah. They know just what I need. She know just what I mean. When I tell her keep it drama free.
Chunking up the
yeah. Told you that I'm leaving. I know you're mad, but so what? I wish you best of luck. Now I'm finna throw them deuces up. I'm on some new shit. I'm chucking my deuces up to her. I'm moving on to something better. No more trying to make it work. You make me wanna say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye to her. You make me wanna say bye-bye.
together all the time. Thought it was true love, but you know women lie. It's like I sent my love with a text 2 times. Called cause I care, but I ain't getting no reply. Trying to see eye to eye, but it's like we both blind. Fuck it, let's hit the club. I rarely sit, but poke me some. Cause when it's all said and done, I ain't gonna be the one that she can always run to. I hate liars, fuck love, I'm tired of trying. My heart big, but it be quiet. I don't never feel like we vibing, cause every time we alone, it's an awkward silence. So leave your keys on the kitchen counter and give me back that ruby ring with the big diamond. Shit is over, what you tripping for? I don't wanna have to let you go, but baby, I think it's better if I let you know.
I'm on some new shit, I'm tucking my deuces up to her. I'm moving on to something better, better. No more trying to make it work. Make you wanna say bye-bye, say bye-bye, say bye-bye to her. Make you wanna say bye-bye, say bye-bye, say bye-bye to her.
Look, my shorty always on some bullshit like Chicago, so I flip that middle finger and the index finger follow. Deuces, we ain't got no future in tomorrow. I'm a dick, so it shouldn't be that hard to swallow. The other chick I'm with never complaining. She make me wanna leave the one I'm with, Usher Raymond. Probably didn't register, don't trip, later on it will. Shorty full of drama like gangster, Grizzles. I finally noticed it, it finally hit me. Like Tina did Ike in the limo, it finally hit me. I got a new chick, and she ain't you. She Paula Patton thick, she give me deja vu. And all that attitude, I don't care about it. But all that shit I do for her, you gon' hear about it. Breezy rap 2 up, 2 down, but I'm just putting 2 up, chucking up the deuce now.
I'm on some new shit, I'm tucking my deuces up to her. I'm moving on to something better, better. No more trying to make it work. Make you wanna say bye-bye, say bye-bye, say bye-bye to her. Make you wanna say bye-bye, say bye-bye, say bye-bye to her.
Mm-hmm.